In this video, we're going to be looking at section 3.2, rate of change. So our central question will be, what is rate of change? So rate of change is the idea of how one variable changes with relation to how another variable changes. So rate of change is the idea of how one variable changes with relation to how another variable changes. In linear functions, rate of change is called the slope. So slope's probably a word we've heard before, but we're going to look at some different ways of identifying rate of change. We're going to have three different ways. One where it's graphical, one where it's a table, and one where we're just given 2 points. So we'll call this next part So how do we find this rate of change, or slope? So the first one will be graphically. So we will plot the points 2, 3, and call this one A, and we'll call this one B, and we'll say we're going to -4, -5. So I'm going to draw my XY. So the first thing I'll do is plot my points and connect the dots. So A is at 2, 3. So we'll call that point A. And then B is at 4, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is our point B. We'll connect the dots. Now to find the slope, I'm just going to count my rise, my change as I go down, and then my run. So when I'm counting, I'm just going to count as I go. So I'm going from this point, from A to B. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that was a distance of 9. And since I'm going down, it's negative 9. So my rise is negative 9 because I went down 9. Now my run is going to be 1, 2. Run is positive 2 because I went right 2. So now to build my rate of change, so this is the important piece. So the rate of change is rise over run. So that's going to be my change in y's over my change in x's. So for this particular problem, it's going to equal negative 9 over 2. But all we have to do is count to do that. So I just counted. I went down 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 8? Oh, that was 8. My bad. Let's change all these to 8. Couldn't count. So we went down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I went down 8. There's my negative 8. And then we went over 2. We went right 2. 1, 2. So we went right 2. So it's rise over run. Negative 8 over 2. So that's how we can find it if we have a graph. Now, we're going to find the rates of change from a table. So let's say I'm given a table, like so, and we're going to put the values 2, negative 1, negative 4, negative 7. And then my y values are going to be 6, 10, 14, 18. So now to find the rate and changes from a table, I'm just going to find the change in my x's. This is my run. And then my change in my y's will be my rise. So my change in my x's are going to be, well, I'm going from 2 to negative 1, so I'm subtracting 3. And let's see, am I doing that each time? Negative 1 to negative 4, we're subtracting 3. And then from negative 4 to negative 7, we are subtracting 3. So it's changing by negative 3 each time. So my run, we know we're going to do rise over run. So this is going to equal, well, my run is negative 3. My change in my x is negative 3. So I just put a negative 3 down here. Now let's find the rise. Well, I'm going from 6 to 10. That's 4. And then 10 to 14, that's 4. 14 to 18, that's 4. So it's the same every time, so it's a consistent rate of change. So I know my rise is 4. So I found that my rate of change is 4 over negative 3. And the last way we'll do this is find the rate of change given 2 points. And this is where we'll use the slope formula. The slope formula is where we just plug in numbers and we simplify. And the slope formula looks something like this. We're going to have m equals y2 minus y1, all of that over x2 minus x1. So we have this formula. This is really big and important. So let's box it and put a lot of stars around it. So let's find the slope between 4, negative 6, and negative 3, negative 8. So the first thing I go and do is I label my points. So now this 2 and this 1 are it's just a labeling system. It's saying my first x, my first y, my second x, my second y. So what we're going to do is we're going to label them accordingly. So this is my first point, so I'll label those as my first x and y. So I'm going to say this is my x1, this is my y1. And then I'll label this my x2 and my y2. Because it's just only because it's coming second. My first point, x1, y1. My second point, x2, y2. Now we're going to plug into our formula. So I have m equals, there's my fraction bar. Now I'm going to go y2 minus y1. So I'm going to have negative 8 minus negative 6. Now, a lot of times this minus gets lost because we see this negative 6 and we just go, oh, negative 8 minus 6. But if this is a negative, I need to make sure I say negative 8, y2, minus, there's my minus, my y1, which is negative 6. Because then we have a minus and minus, that'll eventually turn into a plus. So now we'll do our x's on the bottom. So I have x2, negative 3, minus, and then what's my x1? x1 is 4. And now we just simplify. So I'm going to get m equals, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn my minus and minus into a plus. So I have negative 8 plus negative 6. All of that over negative 3 minus 4. And then what we get is negative 8 plus negative 6 will be a negative 14 over negative 3 minus 7 is negative 7, which would equal negative divided by negative is positive 2 over 1. And that is how we can find the slope when given 2 points, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.